So Raho come here for Punchout Boxing, joined by my esteemed colleague Dave Johal. How are you, Dave?
Yeah, good, good. Sun's out. It's been a great day weather-wise. Um, I can't believe it. Two undisputed championships of the world on Saturday night. Katie Taylor over in Ireland, first of all, the homecoming,
Hmm.
and we did say that we were going to we were going to talk about Haney versus Lomachenko today across the pond in America, early hours of the morning. Um, I mean, you're the boxing historian out of both of us. I mean, when do you remember such a weekend?
Two undisputed fights. I don't recall one in the time I've been following the sport. I think the only comparable sort of weekend was I remember back in the 90s when Don King was at the height of his power. He used to do these amazing uh, multi-world title fight nights, usually headlined by the great Julio Cesar Chavez, who was at that time the jewel in his crown, whilst Mike Tyson was locked away. So Chavez used to headline, but there used to be like four or five world title fights on a single card. And I remember ITV had the rights to highlights. So of course we didn't get to watch it live, um, but I think it usually came out like Sunday night, the highlights. And yeah, used to love those. That's the only comparable thing. But of course, this is on two different sides of the Atlantic, two different shows. But it gives boxing fanatics like us a whole Saturday night, literally a whole night of boxing to get through. So, as you said, we've discussed the big fight in Ireland. Fans can go and look at our analysis of that. But this one is like a real pure boxing purists fight. I think probably the most elite technical fight that can be made in boxing, apart from the winner of this against Shakur Stevenson. So that's how
Yeah,
high level this is in terms of pure boxing ability and well worthy of the undisputed lightweight title.
yeah. This fight has everything on it, and I'm gonna say it straight away. Um, I cannot see any man knocking or stopping the other one out in
Mhm.
this fight. I think it's going to be a chess match. It's been marketed as a chess match by Top Rank, and rightfully so as well. I think we're going to see a complete masterclass from either man. I've got
Mhm.
my opinion on who I think is going to win, um, but I think it's going to be a very, very technical fight. Um, there may not even be any knockdowns. What do you think, Rob? Clearly, it's going to be a
Again,
stroke
both
masterclass.
both exceptional boxers, both you know, such high ring IQs. Never mind knockdowns. I'd be surprised if we see any of them even significantly wobbled. They might not be able to catch each other with a single significant shot all night. Um, that's how good I see that you know the two of them are going to be in terms of their boxing ability. But the background to it is great. Of course, I'm really high on Devin Haney. What he's done to get to the top because you know we've seen it over and over again in this sport. You know all the games, the obfuscation, the excuses. This kid cut through all the crap when he became mandatory to Loma. He asked for Loma as a 20-year-old kid, the most accomplished boxer in the world. He wanted him. Of course, Loma went and took the Tio fight instead, and Devin was unfairly labelled this email champion. Very unfairly, because like I said, he wanted the Loma fight when Loma was at his prime. He wanted to dethrone Loma, but Loma went the other way. I'm not going to say he ducked him. He went for Tio Lopez because he had the other IBF belt. And slowly but surely, Devin's been working to get the respect that his talent warrants. Had to leave the promoter he was with in Matchroom and go and sign with Top Rank. to get the two fights with the Cambosis, which in itself, again, another concession, went away from home twice. Uh, and again, it's just because he wanted to be undisputed, he wanted to be the best, and now having secured the undisputed title, the youngest to ever do it in the four belt era, he's fighting the guy who, without doubt, is the best contender available. Of course, I'm sure Tank Davis's fans would say it's him, but he ain't available. Um, I don't care
Yeah,
what people say about him. Him and his management team keep going on about, well, doing exactly what I said, all the games and obfuscation about, oh no, well, Tank's a big money fighter and blah blah blah. We're not interested in the belts. Okay, great. Good luck to your Tank. Go and do your thing, earn your money.
right. I mean, if you look at it like this as well, though, I mean, the fight that Gervonta Davis had against Ryan Garcia, that was also a big fight because
Hmm.
Ryan Garcia in this era, in this weight division, is seen as one of the four kings, right? I mean, it's um, so I suppose for Tank to take the Garcia fight, he's also chasing greatness. Haney versus Lomachenko, yes, there's more gravitas towards it. It's more, it means a lot more because of what the fight is. But I'm of the opinion that both men took fights that were potentially going to be, could potentially make them great somewhere down the future.
Time will tell. I'm not high. I'm still not high on Tank. He didn't chase the Ryan Garcia fight. Ryan Garcia chased him, and he chased him because essentially he'd painted himself into a corner. He didn't have anywhere else to go for a big fight. And I think Tank took it because Garcia's got an enormous profile and it was another big money fight. Like I said, good luck to him. Ellaby and Mayweather, they keep going on about, A side and it's all about the money and, we're making more money than Devin and Shakur and all the rest of them. Okay, good luck to you. I don't think either of them two have any right to be called kings. Devin Haney does. Um, so yeah, and you know what? Even Tio, give good luck to him. I know he's taking a lot of criticism now, but when the chance came, he fought Lomachenko. So anyway, we're here where we are now, and what a fight it's going to be. Like I said, purely technical. But the winner of this, as both of their managers said at the press conference, the winner of this can rightfully claim to be make a legit claim of being one of, if not the top pound for pound fighters.
Not just that though as well, but the winner of this may fight Shakur Stevenson next, and that fight could be even bigger than this one.
Yeah.
Um, and just looking at Devin Haney's two wins over in Australia back to back, again, I may cause some controversy from saying this, and it may not be may be an unpopular opinion, but to beat a man in his home country twice back to back is no easy feat, is it, Rob? Cambosis Jr. is
Yeah.
not over. He was
I,
alive.
no, listen, I think it's an exceptional win. Again, this opinion that's mainly comes out of America is that, well, Cambosis was a weak champion. And again, that's just that usual American mindset that, oh, well, if he's not American, he couldn't have been any good. So if you lost to him, you must also have been crap. And if you beat him, it's not that good. No, Cambosis beat Tio Lopez fair and square. And as you said, going over to Australia or any foreign country, but especially somewhere like Australia, which is very far remote, far removed from the major boxing hotbeds, is very difficult. Just ask Tony Harrison how hard it is to go to Australia, a completely new environment, and win. It is exceptionally difficult to do, and he did it twice. And there's a reason why all these other guys weren't exactly looking for the fight. So
Exactly, and Cambosis Jr. He not, in my opinion, he not only beat Teofimo Lopez fair and square, but he did it in such a manner. I mean, the first knockdown that he scored as well. and then saying stuff afterwards, which is, look, you're deluded, brother.
I scored 11-2. Well, 10-2.
You believed you won 10 of the 12 rounds?
Yes, I did.
George?
Listen, you got to move up, bro, because you're a bit delusional, brother, all right? Listen, I got the belts. I won the fight. I won it clean and clear. Look at your face. But you know what? I give you respect. I came here. I gave you the...
After the fight. You know, it was it just so happened that he had to defend the belts against someone who could be seen as one of the pound-for-pound greats. There's no shame in those losses to Devin Haney.
No, absolutely not. I still think Kambosos, he'd probably beat most lightweights in the world. I'd probably only fancy, other than Devin, Shakur, Tank, probably for sure to beat him. Even someone like Loma at this point of his career, Kambosos be in with a chance. Ryan, I think he'd be in with a decent chance. Maybe even Tank. Because as we know, Tank, he does try, exceptional though he is himself, he does try and look for the single shot. And one of these days, that tactic is gonna, it's gonna cost him. He isn't gonna find it. So yeah, great win by Devin. I'll tell you what I am concerned about this though is the underhand politics going on. Really do get the impression Devin was never really favoured by Arum. I think Bob Arum recruited him to get rid of his Australian problem in Kambosos. We know Bob Arum. He's never high on fighters from these sort of peripheral markets. He's always going on about the American market, how important it is. So I'm sure he didn't want a long reigning Australian champion. So I think he wanted Haney to get rid of his Australian problem for him and then serve him up to one of his favourites. In this case, Loma. I believe Devin is a free agent after this. So will Arum really want to see Devin walk away still with all the belts, or worse, vacate and have to leave his fighters to try and pick up all those pieces again?
It's funny you should say that, because I think Kambosos Jr. has signed a promotional contract with Top Rank, which has been announced over the last sort of few days. So it'd be interesting where this goes next. Before we actually give our predictions for the fight, and who do we think who's going to be either still undisputed champion of the world and the new undisputed champion of the world, one of the things I wanted to just get your opinion on was the fact that if Lomachenko loses, say that is an outcome that you have, is it the end?
Depends on the manner of the loss. And when we come to our predictions, you'll understand why I think not. But I don't think it'll be the end for Lomachenko if he loses. It will depend on the manner.
Yeah. So going into the actual prediction, then, how do you break the fight down? This tactical chess match.
Yeah, well, we know Loma, he likes to spend 3 rounds doing the so-called downloading data. Against Tio, what went wrong partly was, of course, there was the power threat. I think early on he must have felt that power. Although he may well have downloaded the data, he may well have had that fractional hesitation because of the risk of getting caught. Although some people say, well, look at the way Loma fought in the last 5 rounds. That would definitely add weight to his claim that actually it was the shoulder injury, and that it weren't until the latter part of the fight that he was able to sort of fight through the pain. And so obviously probably pick up, 5 of the 6 last rounds. So yeah, this time though, in Devin, he's not fighting a guy with that single shot punch power threat. So I think he can start taking risks sooner. I don't think he'll need to wait till the halfway stage is over and then try and claw back a a substantial deficit. So so I do see it being a bit more back and forth because unlike Tio, though, I do think Devin is able to adjust as well.
Yeah.
So I see it being back and forth. Maybe as usual, Devin will pick up the first couple of rounds. Loma will realise, okay, he's starting to pick up a lead. I've got to step on the gas. You know, he'll have probably seen a few things, take those risks, start getting a few rounds back. I'm sure Devin, his dad, and Joel Judah, Zab Judah's father, who's in his corner, will then tell him, all right, now you need to change things up. And I think it will go back and forth like that. So I do see it going, of course, the full 12, as we said, are highly unlikely we'll see anything too dramatic in terms of fighters getting hurt. And this is where I think the politics could work against Devin because I'm pretty sure Bob Arum, with his vast, very deep connections with the governing bodies, he might might have some sway in making sure his man walks away with the belts. That said, I don't see it being clear cut. The most likely outcome is a split decision win for one of them. Will depend how fit Loma is. Is that shoulder fully healed? Is that 400 amateur fight career? Is it actually now finally going to tell a big toll? He's fighting someone 10 years younger, still in his prime, physical prime. I'm going to go for something off key as I always do, and I think it's going to end in an anticlimactic draw.
Wow. And if you, I mean, you're not a gambling man, neither am I. If you were to put money on that, I know you'd win quite a bit of money on that, Raw, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, for myself, I see the fight exactly how you do. However, I think Devin Haney will win by a split decision. I think it will be a fight of two halves. The downloading of data. Lomachenko notoriously sometimes starts off a bit slow. We saw that against Teofimo Lopez. And again, yes, that may have been because of his shoulder. But I think Devin Haney, to give him credit, will figure things out. May lose some rounds in the later rounds. But I think Devin Haney will get off to a faster start. And again, some rounds will be very, very difficult to score. But ultimately, I could see Devin Haney and still undisputed champion of the world. That's what I'm going to be going for. I mean, did you see the comments about Jeff Mayweather saying that Lomachenko not focused for the Haney fight? Did you see those comments flying about?
No, I haven't caught on that. What makes him think? Is it because of the war in his homeland?
So the comments that I'll read these out. So this is what Jeff Mayweather said to the Mayweather channel about Vasyl Lomachenko. I don't think it's disrespectful. He basically got thrown up into the rankings without really doing anything. Just because you were a great amateur, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything on the pro level. Devin worked extremely hard to get where he's at. I think Lomachenko is a great fighter, but there's a huge size difference. I know Devin said he was as high as 156 pounds, and that could backfire on him. I don't think you want to get that big. You've got to lose 20 pounds to make your weight class. That's probably not planned. I think I think that may have just happened. That's what Mayweather said about Haney weighing in at 156. But I think the actual comment there is, I don't think it's disrespectful. He basically got thrown up into the rankings without really doing anything.
Can't agree with Jeff Mayweather on that. If he's talking about when Loma first turned pro, well, in his first pro fight, he fought a top contender, and off the back of that, got a world title fight. And then he's just been operating at the top level ever since. So, nah, I can't agree with Jeff on that. As for the weight issue, well, we already know that Haney's a huge lightweight, nothing unusual there. So was Ryan Garcia. A lot of these guys are huge at the weight. Yeah, it could be a factor. But then there's this 9 a.m. weigh-in he's had today, so that might give him a bit more time to rehydrate. Could still be a factor though. But
Yeah.
everyone knew that. Both parties knew that anyway. So
For casual fans as well, I suppose, watching fights where they're expecting knockouts, if I'm going to be totally honest, I think this may not be the fight for you. This is going to be it's going to be a chess match. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be counter punching, lots of feinting. There's going to be loads of action
yeah,
for the purists, I believe. You never know. I mean, tomorrow they might just have a tear up. They might just go to the center of the ring and just, it might turn into Rocky Four.
yeah,
But this is the beautiful thing about our sport. You just don't know what's going to happen when that
mhm,
bell rings,
yeah,
So, and on the other side as well, Roll, we've been there ringside where we think, do you know what, this fight's going to be an absolute barn burner.
mhm,
Both guys are going to go to the center of the ring and give it all they've got. Look what they've said about each other in the press conferences and so on and so forth. And then it ends up being a stinker. So
absolutely.
we've seen that far too many times. However, it certainly makes for an interesting one on the night, but then also what happens afterwards,
Hmm.
and the outcome. So there's a lot at stake for this undisputed championship. Loads. So there you have
Absolutely.
it. Those are our opinions on the undisputed number 2 fight, I suppose. First one, obviously, the fight in Ireland. Katie Taylor homecoming against Chantel Cameron for the undisputed
Hmm.
world championship, and then we're going to fly over. Well, we're not flying over anyway, but certainly in the early hours of the morning, it'll be Devin Haney defending all of his belts against Vasyl Lomachenko. Next week we've got a lot going on as well, Ross. So let's start off with yourself. Oh, wait, before we do
Actually,
that, tomorrow, TM14.
yeah, starting tomorrow. TM14 got a great card at York Hall, as they often do. Headlined by Aaron Prosper against Tom Ansell for the it's a eliminator for the Southern Area title. But the rumors I'm hearing on the inside are that Lucas Ballingall might have a bigger fight, which will prompt him to vacate his English super lightweight title, which means the winner of tomorrow could well be in line for the vacant English title, possibly against your local lad Sajid Abid, who's
Yes.
recently
Fighting
won
tomorrow
an
night.
eliminator. So keep your eyes peeled, and yeah, again, it's going to be a great show full of some brilliant prospects, some big ticket sellers. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. So a lot of us media guys who didn't get the invite to Ireland, unfortunately, or Las Vegas. No, not a bad consolation to go to York Hall and watch the action up close. So that's tomorrow. That's where I'll be. Of course, I'll be having one eye on my iPad to watch the show over in Ireland as well. And then next week, of course, we both have something on it because it's a very busy weekend of boxing next weekend, the bank holiday weekend here in the UK. I'm going to the South Coast, Bournemouth, cruiserweight world title fight, Ockley against Chris Smith in his hometown. So I'll be there bringing you hopefully some good content from there. And look out for the special R&R hour I do with Rico of Sporting Icons over on the iBoxing Hub channel. We're planning on doing a lunchtime R&R hour. So yeah, there'll be a couple of us media guys meeting up for lunch. So yeah, from fight night, we'll be bringing you some joy.
Straight from the coast. Our colleagues over at iBox Hub are
Mhm.
doing a great job. So make sure to subscribe to their channel as well. Great bunch of guys, and definitely look out for Ra's lunchtime hour as well. Myself, I'll definitely be over at Manchester next week. Massive matchroom fight for for Lara versus Wood 2.
Hmm.
Will it be repeat or will it be revenge? So massive night there for loads of travelling Nottingham fans as well. Hopefully Jack Fletcher, our good friend, will be there as well. But a massive night there. I'll definitely be there at the weigh-in as well, so catch out the action. We may also be over in Northern Ireland with our colleague Carl for over in Belfast for Lopez versus Conlon. So another exciting fight as well. So a busy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
Hmm.
we'll keep you guys busy with all this content as well. So, guys, if you haven't done already, make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, and anyone who's interested. So we've been getting some great feedback from supporters of the channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we thank you for your support.